Welcome back to Highlands Postcards from the Finish Line. My name is Bob Babbitt. Highlands' motto is stop your cramp, not your race. We're also brought to you by Polar, where you want to chase your destiny. With us, Mike Ehredt and Courtney Thompson. How are you both doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us on today.
No problem. So, Courtney, we're going to start with you for a little bit.
All right.
This running stuff is new to you.
Totally.
How many Olympic teams in volleyball?
I was fortunate enough to get to go to two in London, and we came back with a silver, and then in Rio, this last one with the bronze medal.
So, two Olympics, 2 medals. Mm-hmm. What's the big deal? You know,
Yeah.
no big. And what position?
I'm a setter, so I just throw it up for the tall people. They do all the work.
They do all the work. Yeah, no, we know the setter's got to get the ball. So, you decide that you want to get into endurance. What was that? When did you decide that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, it's pretty opposite training from volleyball.
Totally opposite.
Yeah, but when I was overseas and had a lot of downtime, I would geek out on anything endurance and just have always been fascinated with the mindset and
pushing your limits.
Yeah, pushing your limits and all these athletes that are doing incredible things and just sitting in pain.
Yes.
And we go through some tough stuff, and you got to be mentally tough. But it's different.
But it's high intensity,
absolutely,
quick moves, explosive.
Yeah.
Opposite of this.
Yeah, and the dynamic with the team sport and making the team and all that. But this is I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of mental work, which I'm interested in. So I'm excited for it to be hard, to challenge myself in a new way and just see what happens.
So when you decide I need a mentor to help me understand how to suffer. Right? Someone who knows a little bit of doing that ultra stuff and runs around the country planting flags for our fallen soldiers every mile, and over 6,000 flags now. So Mike, talk a little bit about, first of all, your journey as an endurance athlete, because you've done it all. Cyclist, triathlete, and ultra guy, but what people know you for is your Project America run. Right, and for planting flags every mile because people forget there are soldiers overseas putting their bodies in harm's way every single day, and you want to make sure people don't forget that.
Absolutely, and it's a big country, and there was a job that needed to be done, and I felt that I should do it. And
yes.
It just showed the diversity of all the men and women involved, where they came from, so I felt it was important to build that invisible wall. And, meeting Courtney, there was this, sudden connection because her brother's, a Navy SEAL.
And I didn't know that.
So there were numerous flags that I had placed that were connected to her brother in some way.
Yeah. So that's how you guys connected.
We were fortunate enough, Highlands connected us, but for sure, right away, we just hit it off and had a lot in common. And I have a ton of respect for what Mike's done with his life and to honor these soldiers. And
yes.
It's been really fun.
So
most
Mike,
of the time.
How did that start? When you decided, okay, I'm going to plant flags and run and plant flags, because there's not somebody you were following along doing that. That's unique and novel.
9 times out of 10, I always say, I had to do 2,000 hours of community service. Hey, when I stay at your house, if the silverware comes up missing, I'll get it back to you.
Yeah.
But to be serious, came to me in 2007, sitting in the break room at the post office, looking at the faces and the stories in the paper.
Yeah.
And it resonated. And then being a service member myself from 30-some years ago, I just felt like there was a page missing, and it was just something I needed to do.
So does each flag have a story on it?
Each flag is their name, their rank, their hometown, and chronological order of death. Each mile, and they're archived forever with a GPS location of where the flag went in the ground. So on my website, you can find a flag. Google Maps zooms in, gives you a 360-degree view.
Oh my God!
In the middle of Illinois for John Doe or whoever. And so there truly is this. They're linked hand in hand all the way across, up and down.
How many families did you connect with through this? Where families actually either joined you along the way or thanked you for doing what you're doing?
I think very few knew until after the fact. And even today, I still get contacted about it and thanks. And we made a road trip out to my son's place. The flag's gone, obviously, but we did a road trip. We went to that spot that you gave us, and we thank you for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so in total, over 6,000 flags, 6,000 miles?
6,870 miles and 6,870 flags.
Wow. So you guys were connected through Highlands.
Yes.
Mike, you've been training Courtney for this marathon.
Yes.
What was the hardest part about taking an explosive, a person who knows how to run from here to there really, really fast and get back.
And then stop.
And then stop, right? And say, okay, we're going to go 26.2 miles.
Well, probably keeping the leash hooked up.
Yeah.
You gotta, Courtney, okay, we need to have a discussion. I know you want to go from 0 to 80, but we're going to go 0 to 40 today. But to be honest, Bob, it wasn't as challenging as I kind of thought, because Courtney is at 80% above anyone else year round, her fitness.
Right.
So
She's
all we had to
Olympian.
do was dial in.
Yeah.
The mental is already there. Just take the time with this new sport,
right. Get
things adjusted, and she was already fit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coming off the Olympics. So for you, what was the toughest part of this?
It's just been really fun because there's so much progress. I feel like when you don't know what you're doing at all.
Which is good.
Yeah, there's.
I've spent my whole life doing that.
Yeah, exactly. The learning curve's really high, and the one thing I love is progress and getting better, and that was kind of addicting, and yeah, that's probably it. And I walked away with an incredible amount of respect for women and men that do this with families and jobs and spouses, because it just takes time.
It does.
I don't think the physical work was, and I'm of course used to training 6 hours a day, and so it was different. I got a little sore, but just the time, and I was unemployed for some of it coming off the Olympics, just retiring, and so I had time, and I'm blown away with people that do this with families, which makes it even cooler to be a part of.
So what is the plan for tomorrow? Are you guys running together? Have you talked about that at all?
Yeah, no.
This is sort of a new topic.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're actually basically in the same corral.
Oh, nice.
And so I see us probably hanging out for a while together,
Till Courtney drops you.
Because, yeah, absolutely. Within the first mile. Then she's actually deleted off my phone if that happens.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah, off the phone list.
But, just keeping our plan together, and then, hey, you're on your own. You should experience this on your own. You should experience the effort and the joy and what you're reaping from the preparation on your own. And so I would like to see that.
And have you done any other road races? Have you done?
I did a 5K in 7th grade, and I threw up 50 meters before the finish line.
Perfect.
So I'm looking for redemption tomorrow.
So wait, that's the last time you did a running event?
Other than the 5K on Saturday here, yes.
So the 5K Saturday was your first really putting on a number.
Yes, absolutely. So, but I'm.
What's the big deal? 5K.
I'm so excited.
Got a couple days off in between. You go run a marathon.
I'm so excited. It's a huge unknown, but I know it'll be hard, and that's what we sign up for. I want to be tested and to show up in those moments. I think that's why a lot of people do these events.
You want to see where
and just feel the energy and the joy of all the other runners, and
it's very special.
I'm very honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be pretty cool. So, Mike, when I look at your background between adventure racing, the Eco Challenge and that type of stuff, and Primal Quest and the Himalayan, you run Nepal Marathon, the Saab. I mean, so many different ultra things. And then some of your PRs, and I don't know if these have changed, but 15:45 5K and 2:52 for the marathon. Woo. The variety of stuff that you've done over your career has been pretty amazing. What has been the biggest challenge in terms of when you took on a new sport? What's been the biggest challenge, the biggest, biggest uphill climb for you? Or did it all come pretty naturally because you had the endurance?
No, I think definitely overcoming, childhood, physical disabilities, and it's always, I always wonder, what my life would have been like if I had normal legs like everyone else.
And talk about your legs. Talk about what you had to deal with.
We just talked about this.
Yeah, I didn't even know all this stuff this morning.
She just looked and she said, "What's those scars?" And so I was born severely clubfoot in both legs.
Right.
So they had to break both legs, rotate the tibia fibula, and then they fused my ankles.
So they fused your ankles back then. Wow.
Back when I was 4 years old. But I never knew anything different.
Right.
And I was telling Courtney, I said, I think it gave me maybe a little advantage because I didn't have the normal wear and tear down there over the years. And I never sprained an ankle from basketball, which I wasn't very good at.
Right.
So I often wonder, would I trade it to be different back then? No.
Yeah.
Because my life has turned out exactly the way I maybe wanted it to.
What's fascinating about that is you're thinking, I mean, you're 53, something like that?
56 now.
56. So, I mean, doing that type of surgery back then, that was pretty revolutionary, right? Because they trying to fuse ankles of a kid at that age. What would they do nowadays?
Now they just make a small incision. I actually had a orthopedic guy look at me. He said, "Whoa, I've only ever seen this in like the medical journal at school. I've never actually seen it for real."
So it's something they can handle fairly easily.
Titanium pins. You're in and out in 24 hours.
Oh my God!
And I was in a cast for 4 to 5 months.
But you haven't had pain from that when you were a kid.
Yeah, no, not when yeah, it was come and go. There was the braces, there was the Forrest Gump braces, there was special shoes, But I was just thankful, I could get out.
You could walk and do stuff.
Yeah, I was very hyper.
So has that been a big motivator over the years? It's like I'm just happy to be able to do this stuff.
That, and there's just something about competition. I was telling Courtney, I said, it doesn't change even at my age, whether it's a 5K, whether it's 50 mile or whatever. That moment before the gun goes off, you can't. I wish I could bottle it to give it to people who say, "Why do you do this?" I drink a little of this. You don't know why.
Yeah. When you look back at all the different things you've accomplished, what do you look at besides your running across the country and planting over 6,000 flags for our troops? Is there an athletic accomplishment that you look at and you're proudest of?
I would say the completion of every single one. Completing everything I started, because
everything you set your mind to, everything you committed to, you finished.
Sure. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're finished.
Yeah. Especially that comes in when you're talking about those eco challenge and things like that. Those are pretty crazy.
Hands down, probably it was finishing in Maine. The first time after I had went across from Oregon to Maine.
Yes.
And I put that wheel in the water, and my son and daughter were there. And my son was like, kind of had tears in his eyes. He said, like, "Man, I don't know how you do it, Dad." But just completing what you set out to do, but not for myself, but for every name that was on that flag.
Right.
It was like, it's never going to stop till you get it done. Because I couldn't let him down.
What I love is here's Courtney is a young volleyball player with 2 Olympic medals. You are a mature young man who has accomplished so much, but there's a bond that's pretty obvious from just chatting. What is it? For sure.
I don't know. I think it's a mutual respect, and just we seem to enjoy being in the fire, and I'll call him and talk a little crap, and he'll give it right back, and we have fun with that. And if I'm a few seconds over, we chirp at each other, but
you got to tell him about the push-ups.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's this?
The first it was like one of the first long runs. I was supposed to go like 9 miles, and I ended up going. I did a trail run, and we went, I think, just under 14 with like a ton of elevation. And I was like, hyper. I was like, man, I'm outside finally. It's amazing. It's like, he's gonna be stoked. I killed it. And he was like, dude, you're like an hour and a half over. Like, you owe me 200 push-ups before next week. And I was like, wait, aren't you happy?
Don't I get extra credit?
Yeah, he's like,
you
no,
have to do push-ups?
It doesn't work like that. Like, you got to do exactly. And so I was like, oh man, all right. So my arms are sore for a bit.
I love that.
But it's cool. And just when someone loves competing and loves pursuing potential in any arena, I think there's a mutual bond and respect.
Mutual respect,
so,
no question about it.
For me.
What is it about this young woman that's impressed you?
It's re-emphasized, and it's opened my eyes to learning more.
Yeah.
Bob, people give you energy or they take energy. And her energy lifts me up, and so it's been a boost to my outlook on how I approach other clients that I coach and people that I'm around. Her enthusiasm and mainly her commitment. So that, again, it's that mutual respect that we have. Whether it was an Olympic volleyball court or a 5K in Spokane, Washington, we just connected, and I totally have all the respect in the world for her.
So Highlands has put you guys together along with a really amazing, unique group of people. Give your thoughts on the Highlands program. I think it's pretty amazing.
They've been incredible, and just a wonderful group of people. And the first word that comes to mind is impact, and what Highlands as a company does for their customers, and how it's great products and all that stuff. But just how they've treated us, and how many of the runners they got are impacting other people in a positive way.
That's
And
the thing I noticed.
it's incredible, and so it's just this kind of exponential.
Passing it on.
Yeah, and it's just great to be part of. It's an honor for me.
Yeah. They have I noticed a huge ripple effect when I first met them. You know, where you drop that pebble in and you don't know who's watching or who it affects, but it's affecting somebody somewhere. And with Highlands, it just gets bigger and bigger every year. And with this group of people this year, there's amazing women that have ripple effects in their communities. You know, it's creating an ocean of enthusiasm.
Hey, Mike and Courtney, have fun tomorrow.
Thank you.
First ever marathon.
That's right.
Not quite your first ever marathon. Thanks, you guys, for taking time.
Thanks for having us.
Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.